Hey everybody, Marcus here. We are about to head out to go camping. We've got the Cybertruck full, Model Y ready to go. Let's do this. Go. Close enough. All right, we are here in Pollock Pines. It's a V3 Supercharger, 12 stalls, 3 of them down. Had to move like 3 different times, and then had to move because the cable wasn't long enough here. So planning to charge up to 100%. Basically, this is going to be our stop so that we can use all our stuff while we camp here. Don't know if you can see it down there, but the saloon, gas station, everything you need. So there's an hour remaining. I don't know that we'll stay here the full hour, but gonna take a nice break here and get the Model Y charged up too. So after that, we're gonna drive, I think, about another hour to the campsite, West Point Campground in Pollock, California, and that's at about 4,800 feet elevation. Right now we're at 495.5 watt hours per mile after about 97 miles of driving. We went from about level 2 up to about 4,000 feet in elevation here, so that's part of the reason for the the low efficiency numbers. But let's get supercharging here and see you in a little. So the Cybertruck wants us to take this route to the left here instead of the curve to the right. That's pretty funny. Tesla nav. This is why our FSD ended on the way in here, because it wanted us to take a 5-mile long unpaved forest road here, which would have been fun in the Cybertruck, but the gates are all locked up and we had to use ways to get around because the Tesla route planning was kind of useless here. Thankfully there was signals, as ways worked, but kind of funny. Cybertruck really just wants to go off-roading. Want to say this X-Bed Mega Mat Duo, long and wide specifically, is pretty much the perfect mat here for the Cybertent. Fits perfectly, pretty easy setup, has a little hand pump, but man, that's some comfortable sleeping. Power share coming in clutch here. Little electric griddle from Walmart. Plugged into the outlets in the back and making some breakfast. We made bacon yesterday along with pancakes, so super easy and convenient. Check that out. 0.3 kilowatt hours to go. It's 15 miles. So we're back. We did 2 days in the Dorado National Forest, about 100 miles away from here. Like you saw in the video, we charged up about 20 miles away or so, drove into the campsite. It's about 85 to 90% battery. We were doing the Cybertent and the Model Y air mattress, and so we had both cars basically at 100% of the supercharger. The Model Y, we used camp mode the whole entire time. We also used it during the day so our kid could take a nap. Left with about 40% battery, which was plenty enough to get home. But using the climate control definitely does use a significant amount of energy. We didn't have any hookups at this place to charge or do anything like that. So basically, if you were going for longer periods, we probably would have had to been a little more careful with our energy usage. Also, we had the truck with us, so if we really needed to, I could have used some of the truck's energy too. Truck got there with about 90% battery. Over the course of the weekend, we used about 60 or 70 miles worth of electricity, so about, 20 to 25 kilowatt hours. We were running a refrigerator basically the whole entire time on max mode that was at 34 degrees. So you didn't have to worry about a cooler with ice or anything in it. You just had this, either in the back here or in the bed running the whole entire time. That was super convenient. Now, in terms of the tent, I wanted to kind of use this trip as a shakeout for, basically my upcoming coast to coast to coast road trip that I'm going to be doing in the Cybertruck. When I do that trip, I'm going to be camping in the Cybertent at night, driving during the day, and then on the way back doing the same thing. Basically, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything additionally that I needed, or if there was something I didn't like, wanted to try out the gear essentially. What I found is that X-Ped Megamat Duo long and wide specifically is clutch. That thing is it's made for the Cybertent, fits in there perfectly. Cybertent itself I'm thoroughly impressed. Setup time, as you saw in the video, was about 25 minutes. Takedown time is about 15 minutes. I think that 25 minutes will get a lot shorter as I set it up more and more. It was just kind of figuring it out the first time. I think I could easily get that down to 10 or 15 minutes. Inflating the air mattress takes a little bit more time, but again, really not that bad in terms of setup. And then takedown, as you saw, it's what's kind of interesting is I watched a lot of videos about it beforehand, and they talked about, you know, like zippers on the case. I didn't have that, and I had also read about there being annoying Torx bits that you had to take out for the tonneau cover, aero cover there, and I didn't have that. So I'm guessing when they, you know, took away the Cybertent for a while on the website and then added it back in later, they, you know, updated and did some retrofits. What I found is the tonneau cover there has these locking clips basically that have an easy release kind of trigger on them. So that made it a lot easier. It still was kind of awkward to put in and take out. You can see in those setup and takedown videos, I fidgeted with it quite a bit. Took a surprising amount of force to get it in and out, and that was probably the hardest part. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think the tent itself, you know, 2 adults comfortably can fit in it. I spent 2 nights in it with, you know, myself and my daughter, who's 3 years old. So we had so much space. The pass-through for all the electronics charging was super convenient. There's pockets just all along the sides. There's one in the top if you want to put like an iPad. You know, not having HVAC or anything tied into the tent did get a little warm, so we just had like a handheld fan that gripped onto the top there, and then just stuck a battery onto it, and, you know, ran all night and kept us relatively cool. I do think it's a miss that it doesn't have the HVAC in it, but I can live with that. You know, as long as you're not camping when it's 100 degrees out at night, it shouldn't be too bad. And in that case, we had the Model Y too as the climate control. So, you know, overall this trip I think was a lot of fun. Sorry I didn't get more videos actually during the trip, but we were just having a great time. But I would totally do it again, and I'm excited for this road trip coming up. Hopefully you'll keep on watching that whole saga. We'll do some videos on the trip planning and then the actual trip itself here. So hope you enjoyed this one. Keep on watching. See you next time.